Welcome to Girl Talk. I am your host, Unique J. Um, yeah, okay. So, first and foremost, I want to thank everyone for being on this journey with me, for supporting me in season 2, episode 12. Here we are. Um, I won't be before you long. As I stated before in my pregame, this is very uncomfortable for me, but I am being obedient to what God told me to do. So, with that being said, let's go into what the topic says, which is restoration with myself. And so, I know you probably like, how you get restoration with yourself? Like, how you don't know you? Well, I didn't. And so it started with just me having all of these breakdowns. And I'm going to be very transparent. That's the season that I'm in right now. So just bear with me. Very uncomfortable if you hear me saying I'm apologizing ahead of time. So again, I was having all of these breakdowns. And when I say breakdowns, I'm not saying like I was where it was intense where I had to be hospitalized. I was having many breakdowns of where I couldn't control my emotions. I would go from, I could be in my car just sitting, driving, and just started crying uncontrollably, not knowing what I was crying about. Or I would get angry out of nowhere. And so I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I got sick and tired of me. And so I began to pray and ask God for healing. And it's that thing where they say, be careful what you ask for. Yes. So I began to ask God for healing, and God told me I needed to heal from my core. And so with that, I ended up starting therapy. And when I contacted my therapist, I said, hey, I need to heal from my core. So when I seen her, she said, what does healing from your core mean? And I said, I need to heal the broken places that where I am, the places where I'm broken. Didn't know the places where I was broken, but I knew something was broken. So as we started the process, it's just like an onion, like layers begin to unwrap, peel back, begin to peel back the levels, the layers. And what I realized was that I never grieved the death of my mom, but also I never grieved loss in general. And so I knew who I was by titles. I knew I was a mom. I knew I was a wife. I knew I was a sister. I knew I was a daughter. I knew all of those things. I knew those titles. But outside of those titles, I didn't know who I was or whose I was. Losing my mom at the age of 23, I never felt like I belonged to anyone after my mom passed. Because that saying, no one is going to love you like your mother, I embedded that. And I'm not saying I don't have a village, because I have a very loving, caring, strong village that I do have. But in some situations, it would be like I felt like they should have did what I needed them to do in that moment. But again, I wasn't their child. So I couldn't put that expectation on someone else to love me and receive me as their child when I wasn't their child. And it's okay. It doesn't mean that they're bad. They were bad people. Because if you get in an incident where it's you needing to help your child versus needing to help someone else, you're going to pick your child first. And I realized that, and I've been in that situation. So it wasn't, I had took it personally, but in this stage where I'm at now, I realized, you can't put your expectation on other people. So as I said, I didn't know whose I was or who I was. So I didn't know whose I was because my past of me doing so much wrong and just the things that I've done, I'm like, God ain't chose me. He ain't put that on my life. I done did this, like, no. So as I began to meditate and I began to fast and I began to work through my trauma, I realized, like, Unique, who are you outside of those titles? If you took away you being a mom, if you took away you being a daughter, if you took away you being a sister, a wife, who are you? Who are you? And I could not answer that question because I did not know who I was. But the more and more I connected to my Heavenly Father, the more and more I knew that I was His daughter. So it didn't matter about my earthly parents. It mattered, but in the sense of knowing whose I was. I'm my Heavenly Father's daughter. No matter what I do, He loves me unconditionally. No conditions attached, unconditionally. Even when I don't deserve it, He still loves me. And I have receipts. Even when I don't show up as He tells me to, He still loves me. So I had to sit in that. And I sat in that for a good year and a half of just the self-doubt that just kept coming. I had to literally be confident in knowing whose I am. No matter if I fall, no matter if, I'm not perfect, I have flaws, but my Heavenly Father still loves me. My Heavenly Father still guides me. My Heavenly Father still checks on me. My Heavenly Father don't play about me. So I don't know who this is for, but you have to do the work. You have to do the work. If you don't do the work, you're never going to heal. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm 100% healed because I'm not. My mother's birthday is coming up on the 7th. And normally around March, I have mixed emotions because not only did I lose my mother. Ooh, okay, God. I lost my goddaughter, who was like my first child. And I don't talk about it much because it's still hard for me as I'm tearing up now. It's still a hard subject for me to discuss. But what I'm learning and what I've learned through grief is take the time you need. Take the time you need. So many times we rush and just get right back on with life because we have so many people counting on us. We have so many people needing us that we don't really take the time that we need. nor do we just sit in our emotions. Sometimes we just have to sit in them emotions and let them emotions pass through. Like, you have to sit in that and say, okay, why am I feeling like this? Like, God, what is, show me. My prayer every day is, God, show me me. Show me me. Show me what I need to work on. Show me what I need to do. Show me what I need to say. Show me where I need to go. Because I'm in a stage of, I don't want to move on my own understanding. I did that for way too long. I sat in silence. I suffered in silence from abuse, from just any and everything you can think of. But now I know who I am. And it's not a cockiness. It's a confidence. I'm confident in who I am. I know that I am my Heavenly Father's daughter. Despite what anybody might feel, despite what anybody might say. And I'm okay with it because I ain't for everybody and everybody ain't for me. Even with the way the podcast is going. Season 1, was interviews. We had good topics. But season 2, he has taken me to where I need to be vulnerable and I need to be transparent. And there are some topics that he's given me that I need to speak on and talk about my own experience with them in transparency. So I'm moving. And this might not be for everybody. And it's okay. Because I'm not into numbers, shares, or likes. I'm not trying to please the masses. I'm trying to please my master, which is my Heavenly Father. So, if you are grieving, take the time. It's okay. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to take the time that you need. And in all transparency, when I get off here, I may sit and cry. Because my goddaughter's birthday is the 28th of March. It's the same day as mine. I'm not going to get that call from her saying, Godma, happy birthday. It's our day. But one thing I do is I cherish our memories. I have a recording of her saying happy birthday to me. My daughter even put it inside of a bear for me. And I listen to it. When I'm missing her voice, I listen to it. I have VHS tapes of my mom. When I'm missing her, I go play them so I can hear her voice. In all of that, what I'm saying is create memories. Create memories. My mother used to always have a camera. Then when she got to a camcorder, like, she took that big heavy thing everywhere and would record everything. And I used to be like, why are you recording everything? Like, you recorded my daughter playing in the kitchen with you. Like, why are you recording all these things? Now I'm grateful. Because now after 24 years, I can play those videos. My daughter can show those videos to her kids. I can show my grandkids. My daughter can, when she is in a state of where she's missing my mom, she can watch those videos. My 2 kids that I had afterwards, when they ask questions about who their granny was or how was their grandmother, they can watch those videos. If my sister is needing to hear my mom's voice, she can watch those videos. I guess the bottom line is to all of this is, if you took all the titles away from yourself, because we all have titles, but those titles aren't who we are. They're just a title. Who are you down to your core? Who are you? What I learned is, not only my Father's daughter, my Heavenly Father's daughter. I'm a planter, which was spoken over me. And you could say, yeah, that's another title. But in my core, I plant what God gives me. I speak what He tells me to speak. He has wired me to be able to hear Him, to be able to speak those words. And those are part of my DNA. So I say all that to say this. Find out who you really are. Seek the help that you need. Get the healing that you need. It's so much joy and peace on the other side of healing. Do I still have breakdowns? Yes, I do. I do. We're human. We've all been through some trauma. Somebody has been through some type of trauma. I don't know anyone walking who hasn't had some type of trauma. But I know my therapist told me one thing that stuck with me. She said, when you experience trauma and you continue to bury it and bury it and bury it and bury it, it's like a sore that you just keep putting a Band-Aid over. You just keep putting a Band-Aid over. Keep putting a Band-Aid. Eventually that sore is going to burst. And it's going to come oozing out everywhere uncontrollably. And that's exactly what my emotions was doing to me. They were coming out uncontrollably, busting at the seam. And I thought that I was losing my mind. All honesty, I went to my doctor like, hey, I need you to do a full hormone panel. Like, I'm up in my 40s. I've had a partial hysterectomy. I'm not on any type of hormones. Like, my emotions are all over the place. She came back and was like, everything is okay. You're not even in menopause. You're not even in premenopause. I'm like, well, something is wrong because, yeah, my emotions is all over the place. I'm wrong. She was like, no, your numbers are all good. Everything is good. And I'm like, okay. All right. So then I knew, okay, I need to go get some professional help. And trust me, everybody be like, oh, I don't want to go to therapy. I don't want to go to therapy. I don't want to tell nobody my business. I love my therapist. Shout out to Lashana. I love my therapist. Even when I haven't been, she's like, you can just call me and check in. We can't just keep moving and not dealing with the past or the things that has hurt us. We have to heal. Because when we don't heal, we bleed on people who aren't supposed to even receive that. They say hurt people hurt people. Yeah. And I don't want to bleed on nobody else. So, as I told y'all, I ain't gonna be before you long. I know that was heavy. It was a lot, like, whoa. But this is where I'm at. This is season 2. Very uncomfortable for me. But you don't know what you can do until you do it. You don't know how you're going to feel until you do it. I will no longer allow fear to cripple me from doing what I was told to do. So I hope this helps someone. I hope it reaches who it's supposed to reach. I hope it blesses whoever it's supposed to bless. And until next month, I love you all. Have a good day, and we'll see you next month. Why is it not ending?